Well, hello, my name is Remington. This is Dungeon Master, the final presentation for this. We start up here with our wonderful splash screen of our hero looking off into his next conquest, his dungeon he will become the master of. Let's delve right in. So, we start off with our main character here, the fighter as we call him. Fighter has three weapons, of course. Here. A sword, can be swung in any direction, a bow and arrow, which can be shot in any direction, with, of course, a limited source of ammo. These ammo also be able to pick them up if they are stuck in walls. And, of course, also giving a separate animation depending on the direction in which these arrows are shot, as we can see. Now the final weapon for on display here is going to be our trusty boomerang. Wonderful thing, rotates around, comes back to the player on a single hit. If it collides with two separate walls on its way back to the player, it will drop to the ground, just like that, as we see there. But of course we can always go and pick this bad boy up, and then use our boomerang again. We cannot use the boomerang when it's in this. It's left out. We no longer have the boomerang to use. So if I try using it, he tries pointing in any direction he can to fire it. But of course, now I have it back, I can now fire it again. All right. So with the weapons out of the way, let's get straight into the enemies. There's three distinct enemies, of course. Two being more of the casual enemy, the third one being our final boss. Now let's start with exiting this game scene here, going to our next zone. Each room is set up into zones. So going to this next one here, we have our lizard man walking around trying to find someone to eat. And oh, he's found us. Let's go and defeat him. Ha, there we go. There's one enemy with his own specific destructive effects, and it looks like he didn't drop us any other items. Unfortunately, they do have that ability too. Any enemy. Now, in our next room over here, we will see our lizard folk. Oof. Well, more lizard folk, I should say. This one being specifically the acid spitter, as we see her flinging off her acid balls, as one would say. So if we go and try to attack her here. Oof. Now her stuff does quite a bit of damage there. So we've got to be tactful on this. Ah, there we go. And then she dissolves and falls into a brittle corpse, and leaving us a trusty health potion of sorts. Oof. Now there is one more thing about her character I do want to show, so I will restart here just to show this. She has a secondary attack function where if you get too close, she starts coming towards you with her seducing walk, and then melee attacks you for actually quite a bit of damage there. Of course, once you get back far away again, she starts then throwing those back at you. There's my health potion there. Alright, well, of course, because our next enemy is, of course, the final boss. Let's restock on our equipment by restarting. To get to the boss, we must first grab the key. Normally, of course, you would have to traverse the dungeon, defeat all the enemies, find the key in the dungeon, then get to the final boss from here. Luckily, we placed it right here at the entrance, along with the door to the boss room as well. So we use this. Once we have the key, as we can see here, we are able to get into the dungeon here. Now, this is our big boss here. His main attack is throwing his axe on a chain at us here. One, so it can come straight back to him. He can only throw his axe, of course, while it is with him. Once he no longer has it, he must wait for it to come back before he can use it again. Now there will be some animation hiccups when doing damage to him, but oh, maybe it's not. Great. He does have one more attack, which I will show if I get close enough. Ah, there it is. His dreaded, if you get too close to him, he will start throwing his, or spinning his axe around in all directions. I'm out of ammo here, so it's going to be a little bit more difficult to beat him. Still possible, of course. Oh, there we can show that with as well the boomerang too. So the boomerang has this great feature is if it misses a target and is coming back through after it's hit once, if it goes through other enemies, it's not going to have that dropped effect we saw earlier. I have to get close just to do some extra damage to him. Oof. Running low on health here. I guess while defeating this boss and trying to show his destructive effects, oh, there we go. There we go. We see the true demon inside. I left some arrows. Nice. Now, going into additional features here. And the additional feature or at least the ones that I wanted to note, I did use many, but the one that I am using as part of at least to meet the criteria for this project, is this right here, my HUD. Now I used a builder pattern specifically to develop this HUD. The making now my total of design patterns on here, at least the ones that I will portray in my documentation, is going to be the state pattern, of course, a strategy pattern to handle all of my animations, and then my builder pattern, which let me have any number of types of HUD items in my HUD. HUD, of course, meaning heads up display. Now let's go ahead and restart here, and we'll get into some of the part 2 features, right? As we saw, of course, with my game here, different from the original project, it has splash screens like this to notate different areas of the game. Of course, this being the intro sequence, the main front-facing splash screen. Hey, press start to play the game. Now, the zones themselves, this area we're in right now, each of them is their own unit. Each has a list of boundaries that are contained within them, and a list of game figures they hold. Right now, of course, this zone is holding our game figure, along with any other ones I happen to either fire out with a bow, or boomerang, or this key here as well, door, any of these things like this. If I go to a different game scene, these things will stay here. These are a part of this zone. So if I say go fight the Gorgon thing over here, oh, jeez. Ah, we see my items are still there. No matter where I go in here, I go and fight the lizard man. Oof. Maybe not. A little strong for me there. There we go. Hey, that's a health potion. Great. Of course, that's one of the other additional features I've added as well. At least one that I'm personally proud of. The drinking of potions we just saw there. Increasing our health by a full heart for each potion drank. A maximum of 3 being held. Of course, a maximum of 3 hearts. Each heart is composed of 2 for a total of 6 life. Now this HUD reacts to our environment with the implementation of that strategy pattern. So as I go and pick up these arrows here, it adds onto our HUD. As well as if I pick up this key, boom, on there as well. The main other thing that I'd be very proud of, I'm very proud of this program for is 2 major things. One, I'm surprised at the the time and dedication I put into this, but 2 is the adaptability of this entire program. So the way I've shown, of course, with the different zones, the different enemies, different game figures, so on and so forth. All of this stuff is in a format to where if I create another, I can create any other image here, lay it out with some boundaries, throw some game figures in it, we have a new zone. It has the potential for an ever expanding dungeon. Um, like many of those randomly generated dungeon crawlers we see. And just I never thought I would come to this era or this stage with this game in particular. Um, I am disappointed that I did not get to go on further and build a full dungeon for display here. But that's one of the many things about this project that I'm very proud of. The other thing that I could say as well is one thing that's actually behind the scenes. So each of these figures, as we know from coding these as well, they have different variables checking their boundaries, different variables to see where their items are going to be going, all these kinds of things like this. For our enemies, telling them where to go, where to turn to, how to go, where to shoot, all these kinds of things like this. Now, keeping track of all that in a display format like this is tedious, and you can never really get down what you're trying to see. So I had created a specific function for every single element in my program here to extend, and it was just labeled dev mode, and I'd like to show that to you guys. So by going in here and getting to my game panel, which holds all my presents all the information, of course, there's this thing I'm coming out here for, of course, presenting this project. Now I will uncomment this out for you guys to show you this here about how I went and looked at this game. So loading the game up here, we see the splash screen, of course, is like normal, no special inclinations there, but once we get in, we immediately see a difference. We have the player's collision, all the collision boxes that would check for boundaries are displayed in blue there, as we can see with this key. My collision boundary hit that. Now this main X thing here, this is for orientation purposes. It's just what I call the field of view variable. It's just all of these entity objects have them to get their line of sights. I just wanted to present this to you guys, just to show all of these behind the scenes, the way we know we make our projects. Other than that, let's show the very last thing here. Just for giggles, we're gonna go and die by our wonderful boss here. Come on, you got me. There you go. Big damage. Big damage. Come on. Hit me. One more time. There you go. This. The last splash screen I have, of course, whenever the game is over. We see all of the enemies you're facing, including the boss in the background there, spotlighted on us. Other than that, I had a wonderful time making this project. I hope you guys enjoyed watching it, and congratulations, we're almost done.